Hello, my dear. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. I don't know if I've done a reading for you before. I can't remember what I ate yesterday, let alone who I've talked to. But I like to explain real quick. I see, hear, feel, sense, know. They talk to me, but they also show me pictures, and I call it spiritual charades. So I try to describe the picture the best that I can. They never waste a message. There is always a reason for whatever they show or say. So if it doesn't make any sense now, keep it in mind. You'll either see it later, remember it later, or somebody else will validate it for you later and go, oh, I know what he's talking about. This is not an exact science. Sometimes you got to stretch it outside the box a little bit. We communicate the best way we can. And they don't tell us what we want to know. They tell us what we need to know. It's his ball game. I allow them to do anything or say anything they want to within reason. It's their show. So he's all right. The first thing he says is when he comes in that you have some guilt about his life and his passing, and you need to let that go. The shoulda, woulda, couldas, what ifs. He says you need to let that go. He says most of the stuff you're feeling guilty about is not the truth. As far as it's not like you don't, there's stuff hidden that you don't know about, not that kind of thing, but it's like you're taking on stuff that is not yours, that's his. He says, so you let me own my part of it and quit trying to make it part of yours. He said, because you need to separate them. You have nothing to be guilty for. About. He says about. Nothing to be guilty about. He says, no matter what you think, you have nothing to be guilty about. You were a wonderful mom. It doesn't matter how things happen in the end. You were a wonderful mom, and you still are. And he gets real close to my ear. And this is my right ear. Some of these videos, depending on what I do this on, I look backwards. Doesn't have to be exact ear, but I like to specify the way they're showing me, because a lot of times it will be exact when they do it. But anyway, he comes right up in my ear, and he says, tell her I love her. He's wanting me to touch his face. I've never had one of them do that before. I've had a lot of different stuff here lately. It's like he wanted me to reach up and just... So did you used to do this to him? Kind of cup his face or do one of these things? Because that's what he's making me feel like I need to do to him. And I can feel his energy right here. This camera isn't very good. When we do paranormal investigating, we use cameras a lot better than this camera, evidently. And we can see the energies or orbs or whatever. It seems like nobody ever sees their energy in this, on this camera. Anyway, back to that. So no, when you get... I have tinnitus. Both of my ears ring all the time. But if you get like a higher pitched tone in one ear, or you hear muttering in one ear, or you kind of go like this, go, what the heck is, why is it so full there? Of course, you could have an ear infection, but this is a little different. We do have telepathic ears up here. We can hear this way. And that's the way I talk to him. So know when you get that in one ear, that's him trying to tell you that he loves you. Your ear, when Bob does it, he hasn't been here lately, he's in trouble, my ear will get bright red. Their energy makes it that hot or that tingly or that full, or you might hear the muttering. If you get a high-pitched shriek or the muttering, tell him you need to change your frequency. I can't understand you. And they don't always know. They think they're talking and they don't understand that you can't understand what they're saying. So he is trying to tell you that. So you might hear it like when you're just falling asleep, when you're relaxed, or when you just wake up and you're relaxed still. It could be anything like that when you hear this. And Bob's energy got so strong that one time that I thought I was getting the virus. My head was hot, 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 hot. So I got my thermometer out and I clicked it over here. Normal. I clicked it over here and the alarm went off. So they can physically make you that warm because it's their energy. They vibrate. So know when those things happen. Just validate him, acknowledge him, tell him you love him, and ask him to bring you more. Ask him to change his frequency. Ask him to slow his speech down or whatever he needs to do. He'll figure it out. He said, absolutely did not suffer. See, I've asked him not to show me how they pass because I was seeing them exactly and feeling them, and I spent too many hours crying. So I've asked them not to do that anymore. But he's shown he hadn't. This is so normal. Hadn't passed yet, but his spirit, his soul, was already leaving. Had already left his body. He's showing it leaving, and it's like I don't know how he passed. I'm not sure I want him to show me, but anyway, it's like if you get in a head-on collision right before the point of impact, you're so it's I'm gonna here I am better. It's not like they don't actually come down and snatch you out of your body, but it's kind of like that. It's you leave your body right before the point of impact or whatever the thing is that you're leaving. And when you hear people say that they've hovered above their body and watched it, yeah, that happens because we do leave our body before the pain and stuff. So our soul, our spirit doesn't actually, that pain stays with the physical body. That stays here. The physical body is just our vehicle to walk around this earth with, like a car. That's our car to hold our soul, our spirit, to allow us the experience. And for some reason, he wanted me to elaborate and explain that. So I hope that makes sense. When I start babbling, a lot of times that don't make sense. But he really thought I needed to elaborate on that because you really need to know that he did not have any pain. He said that was important. He said, no, I want you to know that he says, just like walking around, not like he's lost, just walking around, just feeling peaceful, like humming a tune. He's not showing me what he's doing. It's not like he's just wandering around and doesn't know where he's going. It's not that either, but he's just showing how peaceful he is as he's walking along. It's his show. He can show whatever he wants within reason. All right, he says, how are you supposed to know when he's there? And it's like, no. Now they make my head itch. Their energy makes my head itch, but that was like a hand creeping on my head. It just kind of like that feeling. That was a little different. So you might feel that. It's the left side of my head. Doesn't have to be. Almost like my skin was moving in that spot, like wiggling. Everybody feels the energy different. I cannot say for sure how you will feel the energy, but I was listening. It's like I hear this lilting music off in the distance. And it's not like a band. It's like, I can't, I don't know if I'm hearing, once in a great while, I'm allowed to hear angel music. He's not an angel. He's close enough he can hear them. But I don't know how that ties in. If you think you hear music off in the distance, and it's not like a radio or a band or anything, I don't even know how to describe it. So when I get music I can't describe, that's the angels. I don't know how to tie that into that. He says he hears that. He's that close that he hears that all the time. It's like it's there. I haven't quite made it, which is fine because the angels vibrate much higher than us. And then when we go, we're lower, a little lower than that. It takes quite a bit of cleansing and healing and raising your vibration to even get close to them. And I'm not sure any of us earthly beings actually get to stand right beside them. They will come down and stand beside us, but I don't know that we get to go to their vibration. In my experience, I don't know. It could be possible. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but he's close enough that he can hear them. I don't know how that tied in with you knowing when he was around. So just if you hear something, okay, see if I can get him to give me a sign. He says, I don't have just one grandma with me. I have two now. Okay. He has one grandma that is family, and he has one grandma that is somebody else's grandma, but that he loved a lot, that he cherished, that he thought of a lot, that he spent time with. So when I say, I always say grandma type figure because the little lady next door can feel more like a grandmother than the real blood grandmother who lives clear across the country that you talk to once a year. So that's what the second one is. The second one is one of those that felt like a grandma to him. It's like one of his friends' grandmas or something that he hung around. And he was very happy to hook back up with her. And so there's two. I don't know if these ladies knew each other. It's like they're both in the kitchen making him cookies. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I ask him, how are you going to know when he's around? And he's talking about, what he's showing me is, okay, he showed me the cheap shades on a window, the little skinny ones that you buy in Walmart. Could be bigger, could be the big, like 2-inch slats, but he's showing me the little skinnier, cheap ones, and they're rattling. Like if you had your window open, you had the shade down, the blinds down, and the wind came through the window and made them rattle. Listen for that noise. Doesn't have to just be on your window or in your house. It could be in the store, it could be in your car, it could be happen on TV, it could be something on Facebook that you watch. Doesn't matter where it's at. That'll be a sign from him. So just keep that noise, what that would sound like, in mind. He's moving something. He's moving something in your house. And it's almost like he's moving something. Okay, this is my medium friend gave me this little angel wing bowl, and I put a little bit of sage in there. But he drew my eyes over to that. So it's something small, kind of like this. And it's like, watch for it to turn, move, slide, something. It doesn't have to be an angel wing bowl exactly like this. It just, but he showed me a little, like a little bowl or something, and it moved. It moved. More than likely, it'll be very slight. It's easy, of course, it's easier for them to do the sounds and the smells and things like that than it in electronic products than it is to say if there was an elephant sitting in your room. A little hard for them to move an object that big, if that makes sense. Hang on, let me ask him. He said something about a horse, and then he was off of that. So he just threw that word out there really quick. I don't know if he had a horse. You have a horse. Chocolate. He's mentioning chocolate. You could have chocolate sitting in front of you right now. Maybe he loved chocolate, or you love chocolate and you bought for each other or something. Sometimes I'll just throw the words out. Okay, he goes, smell this. It's his aftershave. Whatever product he put on after he got spiffed up when he would go out, you will, probably just be a little whiff of it. But again, it could be in the store, could be outside, could be anywhere. Doesn't matter where it's at. It's like he stays kind of behind you, like he was walking behind, not pacing, just, I always tell people, if somebody enters the room, you don't hear them, you don't see them, but you feel them. You're feeling their energy, and you turn around and go, oh, somebody is here. You feel that. So you should feel that change in the energy shift when he walks behind you. That's what he's doing right now. And don't know if I already said this. Everybody feels it different. So I don't know for sure how you will feel it, but it's just like a slight change, but he's moving. So I can feel the difference. I will forever cherish what you gave me. Did you give him something after he passed? Actually, maybe put it in the coffin or the urn or whatever he's in. That he cherishes. And did you have a pillow or something made out of one of his shirts? He's trying to validate that it's him. Or you have one of his shirts that you hug. He says, I am fine. I am. He's got a big smile on his face. He feels very peaceful. He feels very at ease with himself, very comfortable with himself, very confident in himself. And I say get up when we go up there, but actually they're right here. The worlds are so much closer now than they were. We don't have the feeling like Oh, good. I'm sorry, I'm muttering. When we leave, they peel us like an onion. They strip us of all the resentments and the anger and the hate and the all those negative, heavy feelings we are cleansed of. And he said there really is no ego. There's really no pride as far as ego pride, if you know what I mean. And confidence is kind of along with that, but he's very sure. He's very sure of himself. He knows what's going on. He knows how this works. He's very confident with what he's doing and what his next step is. He said right now his next step is to heal you. So he's shown like knock, knock, knock. My guides do this on my head all the time. That's probably why I have headaches all the time. It's like, Rhonda, trying to get your attention. What are you doing? That's not what we gave you. That's not what we told you you need to do. What are you doing? So he's trying to get through your hard shell. I don't know how long he's been gone. The deeper the grief, the harder it is for them to get signs, thoughts, healing to you until that all subsides. He wants you to get rid of the anger first. Then he's coming in. Then he's coming in with this other stuff that he's going to heal you. It's almost like he's going to curl up under a blanket with you and nestle on the couch like he did when he was little and watch a movie. So if you're sitting there with your little blankie watching a movie and you feel it move, or you feel like something warm on one side, or maybe even on your lap, maybe a slight pressure, maybe a warmth, maybe goosebumps, know that that's him. He's trying to bring you love and peace. The next step is coming. So he wants you to let go of that guilt, and then the next step will come. Because you're feeling guilty about something that belongs to him. And you need to let him own it. He does own it. He already does own it. But you're trying to hold on to it and own it, and it's not yours. I hope that made sense. That's the way he was explaining it. He knows best. It's his show. He says, look outside and give thanks. Be grateful. Be grateful for all that's there, because you are blessed. And I was blessed to have you as my mother. I know sometimes I didn't act like it. And I'm here to apologize and reassure you that I always totally felt blessed to have you as my mom, even when I was mad at you. And he's shown himself much, much, much younger, like little, going, I hate you. I don't want to stay in my room. I don't want to clean my room. That type of thing. I hate you. He said, even then, in my little childlike mind, I knew I was blessed to have you as my mother. So hold on to that badge. but don't let it consume you. Okay, he's shown me something about a flagpole. Don't know. I can't. I don't know if you have a flagpole in your front yard. He likes whatever is on this flagpole. Okay, I'm not sure what you're supposed to be listening for. See if he'll tell me. He says, Mom, just listen. Listen softly. So it's not like go like this and listen really hard. Just listen softly. It's kind of like, and he's not talking about the birds, but it's like, we sit here and the birds are chirping and we just zone them out. But they're out there chirping and they're singing pretty, but we don't listen. We don't pay attention to them. So I don't know if he's back to talking about this music, talking about him talking to you. It's kind of like we get in our own little world and we don't listen to the stuff out there. But he's not talking about listening to the world. You're going to hear something, so just don't close off too much. Just, I guess, be more like relax. Kind of extend your hearing out. That makes sense. I don't know how to explain this one. I honestly don't know how to explain it. He says, just listen softly. But it's not listening to something that's right here. It's listening to something that's a little more out there. And he's not talking about the news or the banging like I hear next door or it's kind of like I can look out in the corner of my yard and I can see my tree, but do you really see the tree? I mean, I know there's a tree there, but I don't really look at it. Something he's wanting you to listen to, but not strain to do it, because if you strain to do it kind of blocks it off. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know how to explain it. So hopefully, oh man, I'm sorry. He's not giving me more words to say it. But it's kind of like, I don't think it's the same thing, but it's kind of like him talking about that music off in the distance that's so different. And you listen to it softly, but it's clear out there, and you hear the little lilting. But he's talking about something different this time. So I'm sorry that sounds so random. It's his show. He can say whatever he wants to. There's something he wants you to hear. And it could just be him not standing quite so close and saying, I love you, Mom. But he's not saying what it is. You'll know when it happens. And maybe it already has. And maybe you already heard something that seemed kind of not, maybe on the other side of the room, maybe not that far away. I mean, but maybe he's validating it. He's not explaining. And I can't twist his arm making. It's all up to him. All right. That he's going to leave. He says, I leave you with the largest amount of love I possibly can. Know that he has a huge smile on his face. Know that he has, now he's got these red hearts coming out of his chest towards you. Know that I have a huge amount of love and respect for you. You are my rock, my knight in shining armor, my go-to, my everything. And I should have made that more clear while I was here. Don't doubt yourself. Remember to let go of that. Promises made, promises kept. Oh, that sounds like a Trump slogan. Oh, don't want to bring anything political in here. Oh, good grief. But that's what he said. With that, he's going to leave. And as he's walking away, he very, very softly says, I love you, Mom. And he's getting further away. So that could be what you're supposed to be listening for in the distance, but you have to listen softly or you'll block it out. Okay. He's leaving. Much love to you, my dear. Thank you for allowing me to be his voice. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. See you later.